They say it's good to be king. Ah, and that is true. But to be king of all the Comfort King, bears great responsibility. For all Comfort King sleepers are protected by the lifetime comfort guarantee and our soft spot warranty. So welcome all to the land of comfort. Come to Comfort King.
Visit us at Comfort King, I-94 and 45th Street, or at comfortking.net.
Hello everyone, Jody here with Shea West in West Fargo. Did you know that we are open year-round? Well, that's a fact, and we've got a few Christmas trees left on the lot if you're still looking. Hurry in, they're going fast. Our Ivy Room is blossoming with calendar dates for classes all winter long. Head to our Facebook page and see what's upcoming. And the Market Building is ready for all things Christmas. Gifts for everyone and your whole family. See you soon. That's Shea West Garden Center under the water tower on the corner of 40th Ave and Cheyenne Street in West Fargo. Can't miss it.
Time now for Focus on the Field Ag News, brought to you by Hess Corporation.
Australia is expected to produce a bumper year of crops, indicating record wheat production in the current fiscal year. This is despite the impact of widespread flooding in the country's eastern region. Total crop production across the country is forecast to total 62 million tons, the second highest on record. While the spring rain has impacted production, yields, and quality in some parts of the country, some states are experiencing their best winter crop on record. Wheat production, the country's major grain crop, is forecasted to reach 36 million tons in 12 months, a 1% increase over the previous record set last year. Barley production will be the fourth largest crop on record, and canola is expected to hit a record 7.3 million tons.
That's today's Focus on the Field with Bridgette Readel, your ag industry expert, brought to you by Hess. Tune in for Bridgette's Ag News updates each weekday here on WDAY.
Hey, you missed the turn. We just passed Brockmeyer Tile and Stone. It's back there.
Where are we going?
Brockmeyer Tile and Stone, you know.
They specialize in custom granite and quartz fabrication and installation.
And laser measuring, so we don't have to worry about a thing. I hear their projects are always amazing.
Brockmeyer Tile and Stone, just south of Costco on Veterans Boulevard.
Granite and quartz, it's what we do, baby.
970 WDAY AM and 93.1 FM, Fargo Moorhead.
And welcome back to WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for rejoining us here. 1:05 in the afternoon. 25 below 0 Celsius, 13 below Fahrenheit out there, but it feels about 30 below Fahrenheit with the wind chill. And unfortunately, we're really not getting much warmer than that for the next handful of days. We'll touch on that forecast in just a moment. If you have any weather-related questions, ag-related questions, you want to give us a road report, give us a phone call. Join the show, 701-293-9000. Roads out there, garbage. Roads tomorrow, garbage again. Roads on Friday. We're emptying the garbage on them once again. It's just not a pretty sight out there.
Is that an official DOT measurement? Today the roads are garbage.
I think that's a pretty good way of just saying it.
That's the only thing you could say without violating an FCC rule.
Just man,
it is. I was out and on the roadways here about a couple hours ago, and it's nasty. People just running through red lights, they can't stop. So just slow down. It's not that difficult.
I can't understand why people have the need to drive so fast when conditions are like this.
Yeah.
It's been like this for a week now. I mean, come on.
Right. And the winds, at least today, the winds aren't bad. But boy, tomorrow
just wait.
Tomorrow and Friday. So we'll have about 6 fresh inches of snow, of powder over the last couple of days. Some spots a little bit more than that. And you blow that around in 30, 40 mile an hour winds, we are going to be looking at near whiteout conditions, especially in open country. So I know a lot of people out probably doing last-minute Christmas shopping, and boy, just be careful. That's just pack your patience, slow down, and be careful. That's it.
Frankly, one of the county roads where I live is so bad.
you actually can't even speed on it to try to get up to doing any sort of damage because it's like a rutted goat path through the mountains at this point. So just best of luck, folks. Take it easy.
When I was trying to come down into the studio on Monday, I left, I drove 15 miles, I turned around, I said, heck no, I ain't doing this. It was like an icy rumble strip the whole way. I could only do about 50 miles an hour max speed, and one guy thought it was too slow, so he tried to pass me, and he ended up going in the ditch. So, like, that's
Sorry, I don't mean
that's
to
what
laugh.
you get,
Yes.
right? I mean, no, it's laughable. I mean, come on, just slow it down, people. It's common sense. Roads are bad. They're going to be bad for the next few days, so just take your time. Well, lots of fun things coming up on the show today. We're going to be talking about vaccinating dairy calves, livestock in this cold weather. How are they handling it? How long can they handle it for before there start to be issues? And a few other things that we're going to touch on, as well as the forecast. And again, feel free to call into the studio. Give us a road report. Let us know how it is out there. You got snowfall amounts so far, 701-293-9000, or you can always reach us during or after the show by email at weatherorag@flagfamily.com. And Bridgette, we have another guest on today, and this should be a fun one. Do you want to explain who our guest is today?
We do. We're going to be visiting with Jeff Smette. He is with the NDSU Tree Nursery in Towner, North Dakota. I'm not sure that many folks realize that we have a nursery for our own tree production here in the state. And this idea came around because I know a gal who got trees from the nursery as wedding favors when she was married a couple years ago. So it seemed like a great idea for us to hear what they have to offer, especially if we get more rain and snow that could in fact decimate some of our trees and need to be replaced later this spring. So we'll look forward to talking to Jeff. We'll be back to visit with him shortly after this.
From ABC News, I'm Derek Dennis. A bold visit to Washington by Ukrainian President Zelensky, set to meet with President Biden, then give a speech before a joint session of Congress looking for more weapons and more money to fight against Russia.
That speech comes as lawmakers are considering legislation that includes $45 billion in funding for Ukraine. Republicans are set to take control of the House in January, and some, including leader Kevin McCarthy, have signaled they are not writing a blank check for Ukraine. When asked how much of this visit is the president sending a message to the new GOP-controlled House, a senior administration official said it's not about politics, but it is about sending a message to Vladimir Putin that the U.S. will be there for Ukraine as long as it takes.
ABC's Karen Travers in Washington. A congressional panel says the IRS failed to conduct mandatory audits of former President Trump on a timely basis during his presidency. A report released by the Democratic majority on the House Ways and Means Committee suggests an IRS requirement dating back to 1977 that mandates audits of a president's tax filings may have been disregarded. A state of emergency in Northern California following Tuesday's earthquake. 2 dead, at least a dozen injured so far. ABC's Mola Lengi in hard-hit Readel.
Thousands of people still without power or water. Some homes have been red tagged, deemed unsafe to live in, even to enter. Families forced out of their homes. Now folks are waking up wondering what to do next.
Meantime, it's status quo at the southern U.S. border. The pandemic-era rule known as Title 42 remains in place for now.
The policy was set to expire today, but Chief Justice John Roberts issuing a temporary order keeping Title 42 in place after several Republican-led states, 19 of them, arguing that lifting the policy will trigger a flood of migration that will then overwhelm the system.
ABC's Morgan Norwood. A legendary NFL Hall of Famer for the Pittsburgh Steelers running back Franco Harris has died on the receiving end of the Immaculate Reception. Harris was 72. You're listening to ABC News.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like, 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit
Polls keep showing a very tight race between Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis. This could be the biggest political battle ever. Now Newsmax wants to know what you think. They're conducting an urgent poll asking if President Trump should continue his run for president again. Or is DeSantis better? Vote in the Newsmax poll on Donald Trump. All you need to do is text the word zone to 39747. Again, that's the word zone to 39747. Let your voice be heard. I watch Newsmax for the news I can trust. Newsmax is carried on every major cable system. If your cable system doesn't carry them, call them and demand it. Be sure to vote a Newsmax poll on whether Trump should run again. Text ZONE to 39747. That's ZONE to 39747. And make the switch to Newsmax. You won't look back.
And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful sunny day. 75 degrees outside, a light breeze blowing out of the south. There's your forecast for Miami. Wouldn't that be nice?
That's something. Hey, that's something. I'll tell you that.
Oh, man. So let's recap real quick what's going on around our area. We do have some light snow moving into the area right now, but a line of heavier snow showers, actually just a line of snow from Hunter all the way down through about Tower City and stretching southward towards Verona. We'll continue to see the snow increase as we head throughout the early afternoon. Not looking at a whole lot, 2 to 4 inches probably. Some spots in the Lakes country could pick up as much as 6 inches out of this. But we'll see some reduced visibility with some of these heavier lines of snow coming through here. Winter weather advisory in effect, obviously. And again, by the time this is all said and done between yesterday and today and tonight, we'll have about a new 4 to 6 inches of snow on the ground, light, fluffy stuff. And then the winds kick in out of the northwest as you head into tomorrow and Friday. That's going to produce near zero visibility at times, especially in open country. So travel really not recommended over the next few days. It's going to get worse, and even after the snow stops, that's when the winds pick up. Blizzard warnings in effect for areas of western and southwestern Minnesota. Winter storm warnings down towards the Twin Cities, stretching down towards Omaha, Kansas City. Blizzard warnings also extend into Iowa, most of central Iowa under blizzard warnings as well. So there's really nowhere you're going to go to escape the storm if you're driving. So please, if you conditions will improve as we head into Christmas Eve. So if you can hold off your travel until then, that's probably the best bet because, and bitterly cold wind chills as well. So it's just, boy, 1-2 punch from Mother Nature on this.
Is this type of weather exciting for you guys? Kind of like I'm always thrilled when we start planting, maybe winter weather and being able to talk about so many different things going on is like a big day for you all. I'm just curious.
Well, I don't know about Justin.
It's a tiring day.
It is. I don't know about Justin, but I mean, we both love snow. I mean, but I would rather have the big, instead of this constant light snow, wind, I'd rather have it just come bam all at once. You get a good 12, 18 inches of snow in about maybe a 24-hour period, and then you get winds on top of that. That's the fun part.
Yeah, that's
Look, if
that's
we're putting in
storm.
requests, you guys, if we're putting in requests, I don't mind snow. I need some sunshine, and I really need to get these roads improved because the rutted goat path that constitutes the street around here is not nice.
Man. Yeah, and that's not going to improve anytime soon. I mean, and I feel bad for people that have to travel any distance with the holiday coming up here because this is just, it's a mess. I know I was talking to one of our coworkers, and they said their family is arguing because, well, why can't you get here? Well, because it's not safe. So pack your patience, and, I mean, you don't want to risk life and limb just to get to family because you don't want them mad. I mean, I'm sure they'll understand eventually. But it's just, wait till Saturday to travel.
Right. Well, I mean, look at how
you-
large of a storm system this is, too.
Oh.
I'm just going to pull this up, the National Weather Service page here on the advisories and warnings being issued across the United States. I mean, that's over half of the state or the U.S. affected by this storm, from wind chill warnings extending into the northern panhandle of Texas, down into some of the Gulf states, ice storm warnings, winter storm warnings through the upper Midwest, blizzard warnings, and then even high wind warnings extending all the way into the Northeast. I mean, it's just nasty out there, and this is going to affect millions of people. And like Dean was saying, I kind of feel bad for the people in, Minneapolis, Chicago, the big key airport cities, because those flights, they ain't going to be happening, and if they are, they're going to be very delayed, if not completely canceled for a whole day. So I mean, it's just bad out there.
Well, and let's just remind folks that if you have family members who farm, they may not be able to make it to the events that you want to have them at for these snowstorms, because they have plenty of stock to feed. They've got to make sure that water stay open so animals can get plenty of fresh water to go along with the higher energy feeds that you're feeding them. They got to keep snow out of the way, animals bedded. So just have a little mercy for those who are trying to take care of their livestock. They're out in the cold like our construction workers are, like anybody who's got to do snow removal. It's bitter, and have good coveralls. That's my advice, to try to stay warm right now.
And I've been getting quite a few emails. We offered free forecasts, and Justin said to me last night, why is our inbox flooded with requests?
I'm like, I called Dean at about 7 o'clock. I'm like, what did you do? And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I have 40 emails from people asking me how travel is going to be. Not that I don't mind doing that, but it came out of nowhere, and I had no idea. I'm like, Dean, what did you do?
I forgot to give Justin the heads up.
I'm like, oh, cool, I got an email. Oh, I got 2. Oh, you have 40 news.
But yeah, if you're traveling, if you can leave now, and like I know a lot of people want to go down to the cities. If you can leave now, I think you'll be fine. But if you can't leave now within the next hour or two, because that's when the heavier snow is going to start developing down towards the cities, which it's starting down there right now. I'd wait till Saturday. Just wait till Saturday just to be safe. It's just it's kind of a mess, obviously.
Take that time. So. We're going to continue to talk about the weather. We'll have plenty of things that are going to come up. Also, by the way, for those who are on the live stream, I just want to point out my very fashionable headgear for today.
By the way, that looks awesome.
So nice antenna you got there.
Well, it's kind of like a little Cindy Lou Who situation here with some candy canes on my head. But I hope that's not distracting to our guests. We'll be visiting with Jeff Smette. He is, again, with the NDSU Tree Nursery in Towner, North Dakota. We'll have lots of great questions for him. Dean, you can probably ask him that chestnut question we had yesterday.
There you go.
So we will be back on our next segment. We're going to visit with Jeff from, again, NDSU's Tree Nursery in Towner, North Dakota.
All right. We just received a call here a few moments ago about some road reports. Apparently, there are several accidents on I-94 between 45th Street and Cheyenne right now. So traffic is backed up on Interstate 94, just to let everybody know that.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Dell Technologies' Days of Deals for Business start now with fresh, limited quantity deals on tech to drive productivity. Save on select performance laptops and desktops powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, plus free shipping on everything, and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
When was the last time you had a made-from-scratch pizza, all the way down to the dough? That's what they do with their pizzas at O'Kelly's Bar and Grill in Fargo. Handmade from scratch, fresh every day, including the dough. And you know what else? Saturday and Sunday, pizzas are half price and kids are welcome. So while you're watching the game, you can have a delicious fresh-made pizza. And Wednesday is all-you-can-eat pizza by the slice. O'Kelly's, delicious food, priced right. I-29 in Maine and Fargo.
Your business has storage, but not nearly enough. You need Dakota Storage Products. They'll utilize the space you already have. They're the experts in loading docks, pallet racks, cabinets, bins, and warehouse ladders, even industrial shelving for bankers' boxes and your year-end files. They've helped businesses and farmers in the region make storage space smart by helping your storage space fit your needs. Go to DakotaStorageProducts.com. Dakota Storage Products, helping you store stuff smart.
Hello, this is Elise Pucklich, and as another year winds down, all of us at Pucklich and Valley City want to thank you for your business. It's true that this time of the year, giving really is better than receiving. And during Chevy's Red Tag event, we're giving you special event savings on our largest Chevy inventory in months. So from our family to yours, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from everyone at Pucklich Chevrolet Buick GMC in Valley City. Have a safe and joyous holiday season.
And welcome to WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm Bridgette Readel, joined by Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki and Justin Storm, Meteorologist Extraordinaire. This is your time to shine, gentlemen. It is fall, winter weather all around us. And I just get to talk about ag when I join you here. That's my job. So,
still 2/3 of the show, Bridgette.
Only so much. So today we have a guest joining us, and that is Jeff Smette. Jeff is with and please make sure I get the title right here, Jeff, but NDSU's State Nursery in Towner, North Dakota. Am I correct?
Partially. We're part of the North Dakota Forest Service, and we're aligned with NDSU, so we actually follow their employee guidelines and such. So our state forester would report to Dr. David Cook, the president of NDSU, and we just happen to be tree farmers here in near north of Towner, North Dakota.
Okay, we have so many questions for you out there, Jeff. First of all, how long have we had a tree farm in North Dakota? And just tell us about the things that you do and what it looks like out there, because most of us have never even imagined North Dakota had a tree nursery.
Yeah, so prior to the state taking this area or this nursery over, it was a federal nursery in the 1930s, and it was closed in 42, and then in 1951 it was opened by the North Dakota Forest Service. So we celebrated 70 years in business last summer during the drought, so that was fun. We specialize in growing conservation trees, bare root and both bare root and container growing or plug trees in a greenhouse. So we kind of strive to grow and sell about 1 million trees every year for conservation purposes.
Okay, so when you say 1 million trees for conservation purposes, can that go to anyone in the general public? And how big are these trees, by the way?
So most of them are grown at bare root are 3 to 4 years of age, and they average, say, 12 inches tall. And everything is started from seed here. And then our container or plug trees are about the same height. We can get a saleable seedling in one season in our greenhouse. We start in February and then we extract them in the fall and freeze them and sell them the following spring. And yes, anyone can buy from us. We do have a catch where our minimum order is 100 trees. So it's designed for people with some land, people creating habitat. Soil conservation districts are obviously our #1 customer, and we do prioritize our sales to them and our North Dakota residents.
When you say prioritizing to North Dakota residents, do you sell out of state at any point in time as well, or do exchanges with other state nurseries?
We do sell to this whole region, including Canada. We sell probably to 6 to 10 customers in Canada. And mostly it's this region: Montana, South Dakota, Minnesota, Nebraska, Colorado, Wyoming, and then the Canadian friends up there.
Okay, at 100 trees at a crack, that's what you're going for. What's the largest order you've ever had?
I would say, like a North Dakota Soil Conservation District, some of our larger ones will order 30,000 at a time.
Okay.
Wow.
That's more than a pickup load is my guess. That's a fairly significant amount of trees.
Half a semi load.
When are your busiest times of the year?
Being as I reference tree farming, it's similar where we're spring and fall. We do harvest and grade and package trees both spring and fall. The fall ones we do and freeze them at 27 degrees, and those are for our early orders for southern districts, for southern states, and it spreads our workload out. But I would guess spring with customers coming to pick up trees, that would be our busiest time of the year.
Okay, you said harvesting, and then freezing trees. I'm going to have some questions about that. We're about to hit the bottom of the hour here, Jeff, and so we are going to want to take the time to listen to some words from our sponsors. And when we come back, that's a question I'd like to have you answer is, how do you harvest them? And freezing trees, I thought that was bad. So we'll confirm that with Jeff when we return. Again, our guest today is Jeff Smette. He is with the NDSU and North Dakota State Tree Nursery in Towner, North Dakota. We'll be right back.
When love is shared, great things happen. After 15 years of the Subaru Share the Love event, Subaru and the retailers have donated over $250 million to charity. Get a new Subaru now through January 3rd, and $250 will be donated to charity. You get a new all-wheel drive Subaru while helping your fellow man. Stop in today. Muscatel Subaru, just off exit 1 in Moorhead. See Subaru.com for details.
People with chronic lower back pain have often tried lots of different things, and most of those things just don't work, and they're searching things that do work. Non-surgical spinal decompression is a type of treatment done with a specialized machine that has very high success rates, and we're lucky to be one of the few clinics in the entire state that has it.
I had horrible neck pain due to a degenerated disc. I went and saw Dr. Zimmerman. It got better. It got way better. You know, at the clinic, it is very easy to schedule, and they work around any schedule you have. He has actually fit me in prior to the weekend if I have a relapse, so I'm not in pain over the weekend. So very good care there.
The success rate for decompression treatment based on research is just about 90%, although I think ours is higher because we incorporate other types of care to address the dysfunction. Whether it's the neck or the lower back, decompression treatment can be effective for a wide variety of conditions that include bulged, ruptured, or slipped discs, pinched nerves, sciatica, and joint arthritis, and sometimes can be effective in just a few treatments. Find us at theclinicnow.com. That's theclinicnow.com.
If you're looking for honest, dependable, over-the-top customer service at affordable prices, you'll want to do business with Welton's Tire Service in Lisbon, North Dakota. Welton's is a name you've grown to trust, proudly serving the area for 50 years. Welton's Tire always works hard for customer satisfaction and service. They offer brands for every make. If you need tires, repair, maintenance, or on-farm tire service, contact Welton's Tire on Main Street in Lisbon. Tell them Beth sent you. Online at weltonstire.net.
Rosshold Farmers Elevator says that having fantastic customers and friends is something that makes a business the best it can be. May your Christmas be full of cheer and joy, and may your holidays shine with the luster of goodwill. Rosshold Farmers Elevator thanks you for your support this past year. They deeply appreciate your business and look forward to seeing you again soon. Enjoy and have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from your friends at Rosshold Farmers Elevator.
Happy holidays from everyone at CCRI. Start out the new year with the career that you're proud of. Join CCRI and make a difference every day in the lives of individuals with disabilities. Visit ccrimorehead.org to learn more and apply.
It's Jay and Ronnie from the Coffee Club, and we enjoy drinking coffee because it keeps us energized and focused.
Well, let's be frank. I enjoy drinking coffee because coffee keeps me wide-eyed in the morning, but I'll tell you this type of coffee is organic, specialty grade coffee, beans selected from the top 2% available, 100% Arabica bean coffee, certified organic, non-GMO, low acidity, rich, smooth, and ready to drink.
The finish is clean and it has a pleasant aftertaste. It's delicious. It's so far the best coffee that we've had. It's also roasted and packed in the US of A. We love it and we guarantee you will too. All you need to do is go to mystore.com, click on My Coffee, and enter the promo code WDAY.
That's promo code WDAY to get your own My Coffee.
It's also roasted and packed in the US of A. We love it and we guarantee you will too. Go to mystore.com, promo code WDAY.
And welcome, folks, to WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm Bridgette Readel, Ag Director, along with Dean Wysocki, Chief Meteorologist, and Justin Storm, our Meteorologist. Well, we're visiting with Jeff Smette. He is with the Tree Nursery in Towner, North Dakota. This is part of the North Dakota State Forestry Service, but also works with NDSU. And Jeff, before we had a moment off there, I asked a question. You mentioned harvesting trees. How do you harvest those trees? And above all, you said you freeze them at 27 degrees. Don't they die?
No, it's been a proven concept for years. So we only freeze when we hold trees over the winter. So we start harvesting usually in November, and then we grade and package for approximately a month. With our crew here, and the bare root are wetted down, all the soil is washed off, and then there's a water holding material like shingle toe, it's called, like a shredded cedar in the bag inside a box, and it gets a quick freeze at 27 degrees, and it's very consistent, and that's, I think, the key is you want it below freezing so you don't get mold issues, but you don't want it too cold. So it's worked well. There's certain species that do not like to be frozen, like pine, for instance. So we just harvest them in the spring.
And Jeff, so I know you said earlier that you deal with mainly, like 100 trees or less, I believe you said, and mainly, larger clientele. But from I believe Bridgette was telling us that you had a delivery to a wedding party. Tell us a little bit about that. I think that's a different gift for sure. But how did that come about?
Oh, we get requests for different favors, like at weddings, and so they may want to give out oak trees or spruce trees or something, and so they order them, and we have individual wrappings we can put them in. So it's not real common, but it's increasing in popularity.
That's a great idea. I mean, you know, you're helping the environment, and yeah, that's unique. I would. Is that probably the most unique? I would say customer that you've had, or what would be the most unique customer that you've had?
I would say that, and then every year we have the Trees Bowl at the Bison game, and maybe you've been to one of those where the Forest Service recognizes and awards different individuals and groups in conservation, and we give out trees after the game. We usually do about 3,000 each game in September, each fall, if it works out. So that's a really a fun event for us.
Oh, it sounds like it. I didn't even know that you guys did something like that, but I've never been to a Bison game, so I wouldn't be the one to know.
What?
Bridgette's
oh, man. We've got to change that.
Why would I go to the Bison? Why would I go to the Bison game? I'm up in Grand Forks.
Wow.
I can help you with that.
Right?
Yeah, there we go. Bison Nation. More of a hockey person anyways. Jeff, I was wondering, what kind of trees are you raising?
So we kind of specialize in conifers or evergreens, and eastern red cedar, Rocky Mountain juniper, ponderosa pine, Colorado spruce, and Black Hill spruce. Those would be our top 5 sales. Those species. We grow a few odds and ends. We grow a few hardwoods in our greenhouse, and we're starting in the field too. So like plum, chokecherry, carragana. But it's mostly conservation stuff that's used for wildlife habitat and windbreaks, field windbreaks, and around farmsteads and livestock operations to slow this wind down.
Yeah, no kidding. If only it seemed like if it was working. The wind just doesn't seem like it's ever going away. Hey, what are the sizes of these trees? I mean, how big are you letting some of them get before they end up being sold or planted somewhere?
Typically, a 3 or 4-year-old tree will be graded 8 to 15 inches. We do hold over some spruce that'll be a 5-year-old, and we grade them 16 to 24 inch. Those sell for $2.25. Our conservation stock is 95 cents.
I see. And, you know, with a lot of this going for conservation, do you do any business or do any landscape or nursery companies come to you looking to buy stock, buy from you and then they resell the trees to consumers from their stores?
There probably is some of that. Most of them will grow out stock to a bigger size and then sell it as a balled and burlap or a larger size like that.
I see. And then I had one other question. Sorry, Bridget, do you want to go first?
No, go ahead, Justin. I've got a couple other things I want to ask Jeff when we have time.
Okay. I was wondering, do you do anything with elementary or middle school students? I know when I took middle school, we had a class and we would go out and we would try to identify the different kinds of trees based on the needles, the shapes of them, or the leaves. Do you do anything like that on education with kids?
Yes, we have 5 full-time staff here at the nursery, and we get asked to present at different, they call them eco-eds, and usually it's 6th, 7th grade students, and they'll have 5 rotations to go to, and we'll talk about forestry and stock here. So we do host McHenry and Sheridan counties here each year, where we get about 100 students here, and then part of the day is a tour, which we always welcome tours here from different schools. We have some kids from Grand Forks that come just about every year, a science class. I don't recall the teacher's name, but we do a fair number of tours each year.
Cool.
And there looks like there is just so much that's going on with the state nursery and all the things that you're doing out there, Jeff. And if you have some of these large orders for trees, 100 at a minimum, do you go out with any of the tree planting machines and plant them, or is that left up to the person who buys or the conservation service that you're working with?
Yeah, right now we are just growers. We don't sell any products to go with the trees either. So we grow it, we collect the seed, we process the seed, we grow the tree from seed, and harvest, package, grade it to a certain quality. Many years ago, the Forest Service had tree planting crews, but it was kind of competing with our soil conservation districts, which are our #1 customer, and they have tree planting crews, so it didn't really make sense. So we partnered up with them. We have a stewardship program in the Forest Service that helps them with different cost share programs, and typically if you're doing a large planting, your district would do it. Otherwise, if it's a few hundred, landowners, many do them by hand.
Sure. So, and I realized this after we started having the conversation, that when I put trees into my yard, they came from the local soil conservation district. More than likely, they came from you, red dogwoods and lilacs. They were probably coming right from you at Towner, Jeff. And along that line, what's the most popular trees that you sell or that people come to get from you?
Right now it's conifers. We've been doing them the longest, so Eastern Red Cedar and Rocky Mountain Juniper are 1 and 2.
I think of lilacs in North Dakota, so I was hoping you were going to tell me that was your top one that you do.
Yeah, that is one we haven't grown in many years, but we are considering adding that one.
I'm sure you got a lot of people looking for those.
Yeah.
What would you say is one of your more unique trees, or something unique that, hey, I didn't know that you would have this. That's kind of cool.
We go to a Juneberry patch by Velva, and we named Canadian Juneberries. They call them Saskatoons up there. And so we grow about 5,000 of those each year in the greenhouse. And that's a fairly popular one. We do trials of different species too on a small scale. Right now we're growing Norway spruce from the seed is from central part of North Dakota, which is kind of rare for Norway spruce. We've grown Douglas fir. We've done you mentioned chestnut. We've done Ohio buckeye before. So we've tried a lot of different things. As our customers ask for certain species or they want us to test something, we do grow things for Plant Materials Center in Bismarck sometimes. So those are kind of the fun things we do.
And do you get a lot of requests around this time of the year for chestnut trees? People want to take the chestnuts and roast them on the open fire?
Roast them.
No, we don't, but I could understand your question. But,
so you did say, though, American buckeye and chestnut, are they considered the same thing?
No. Ohio buckeye is one that we have grown. It's a zone 3, and it's Aesculus glabra is the scientific, and chestnuts are a little different and a lot more tastier too.
Good to know. Well, you said tasty, and you were mentioning Juneberries or Saskatoon berries before this, and I get some every year from the Carrington Research Center because Juneberries are worth it. You don't get a lot, but they're pretty darn good. They're a lot less bitter than a choke cherry, I think you might say.
Yes, and we do grow choke cherry and plum too.
What about apple trees that are specific to this region that might be a little more winter hardy? Any of those?
No, most apple trees people want a specific kind, and most of those are grafted on a hardy rootstock. So we're growing from seed, and when you grow from seed, you get a lot of variation. And in the parent species, so it's hard to mimic the same top, I guess, if you will.
Okay, that makes great sense. I understand what you're saying then.
Yeah, definitely. And Jeff, we're running out of time here. So is there anywhere you would like to plug in if people want to get more information, or maybe they want to make a purchase in the future from you? Where and how could they do so?
We have an online presence where, if you search the Towner State Nursery or North Dakota Forest Service, you'll find a link there, and you'll find our contact information. We do have a presence on Facebook, just Towner State Nursery, and our catalog is our best resource of information, that link on there. And once all the confirmations come out, which is happening right now, our sales manager is confirming orders as we speak, and once those are all done, then we will have availability lists, because we will sell out of different species, so we'll update the availability each week, usually on or as needed on the website. But we don't have an online form, but you can just email or call in your orders, and then we do not want any funds or payment until your confirmation comes. And we do ship all over the place. We've shipped to California, Florida, New York State, all over.
Awesome. Well, that's great. Well, this has been a joy, Jeff, and thanks for joining us here on Weather and Ag in Focus. We hope you have a happy holidays and a happy New Year's as well. We're going to catch up with the American Ag Network right now. Then Weather and Ag in Focus will return with a few ag topics, and again, we'll take a look at that forecast.
No matter what season it is, you want an ice-cold beverage that's not going to slow you down. You want a Mick Ultra or a Mick Ultra Pure Gold. Michelob Ultra is the superior light beer that goes down smooth with only 96 calories and 2.6 carbs. And Michelob Ultra Pure Gold is brewed with organic grains from the finest fields to craft a crisp taste with no artificial flavors or colors. And only 85 calories and 2.5 carbs. You make the winning choice. Mick Ultra or Mick Ultra Pure Gold.
What do you call a place that feels like home every time you walk in? A place with plenty of TVs to watch a Saturday or Sunday game and still be able to carry on a conversation. It's known for delicious lunch specials, soups, and appetizers made from scratch every day. We call it Midtown Tavern, where they don't skimp on food or drinks anytime. Head to Midtown and enjoy Wednesday wine night, live music nights, and Dwayne's Pizza any day of the week. That's Midtown Tavern, Highway 10 East in Moorhead. See Facebook for specials, watch parties, and live music.
Are you suffering from neuropathy? Do you experience stabbing, numbness, tingling, or burning in your feet? Are you tired of sleepless nights and avoiding life due to pain? If you've been diagnosed with neuropathy or have pain or numbness in your feet, call us right now before it's too late at 701-929-7505. Again, 701-929-7505. Neuropathy is a very serious and progressive disease where your nerves start to break down. It can lead to balance problems, complete loss of independence, and in some cases, amputation. Our program addresses the underlying causes and doesn't simply mask your symptoms with medication. In fact, many patients start to feel relief from their symptoms within weeks. There's no surgery and no use of prescription drugs. Pick up the phone and call now at 701-929-7505 or find out if you're a candidate for our neuropathy program that has changed thousands of lives. Call us today at 701-929-7505.
A mostly positive day in grains and livestock on Wednesday. This is the American Ag Network of Jesse Allen with this closing market update. Well, we saw winter wheat along with the hog market and live cattle lead us to the upside. Wheat and corn seeing gains extended late session as we had plenty of support here in this winter wheat market as traders are watching this low pressure system and this cold Arctic air entering the central and southern plains with freezing temperatures viewed as detrimental to wheat crops that are lacking snow cover. And this is a winter wheat crop that's already struggling. cooling. Meantime, corn and wheat watchers are seeing some positive chart developments as well, helping out with moderate strength in corn today. Also, soybeans even capturing the attention of chart watchers as the lead January contract rallied to the 14.89 level, where this market has been testing overhead resistance a few times. It's largely held over the past 6 months. It'll be interesting to see if we can break through that with this thin, low-volume holiday trade. Livestock had a strong day, led by the hog market with sharp triple-digit gains seen there. Final numbers Wednesday. Corn for March up 10 1/4, 6.62 1/4. We saw July corn that finished the day up 9 1/4, 6.55 1/2. January beans up 2 1/2, 14.81. July beans up 4 1/2, 14.90. January bean meal up 3.60 a ton, 4.56 even. January bean oil up 26 points at 66.31. March Chicago wheat up 17 1/4, 7.67 3/4. July up 17 1/2, 7.79 1/2. March Kansas City wheat up 17 at 8.64. Spring wheat for March up 10 1/4 at 9.26 1/4. July spring wheat up 8 1/4 at 9.13. Lean hogs February up 4.15, 88.40. April up 3.10, 95.27. January feeder cattle up 20, 183.82. March up 70, 185.72. Live cattle December up 107, 156.12. February live cattle up 212, 157.70. That's closing markets for Wednesday on the American Ag Network. I'm Jesse Allen.
Pucklet Chevrolet Buick GMC in Valley City makes it easy to find your next Chevrolet Buick GMC or pre-owned vehicle by offering a great selection at our best prices possible.
And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for rejoining us. 1:53 in the afternoon, 13 below zero with wind chills closer to 30 below, and it's only getting colder out there. And we're seeing numerous warnings being issued across the United States for a major winter storm that's tracking through the central U.S. right now. But Bridgette, I want to know. We have wind chill warnings from Montana all the way to North Dakota, down into the Panhandle, and even into southern Texas. How do cattle and calves do in this extreme cold, and what kind of time frame can they, withstand that without getting additional help? And if they need help, what does that look like with the ranchers?
Well, what's a good thing right now is as you look at calves, they are bigger. They're not newborns like we had during the spring blizzards back in April. So they're able to take the temperatures. Also, I wouldn't run down to Texas and buy a bull rack load of cows and bring them back up here right now, because their acclimation would not go well. It's like bringing your cousins from El Paso and sticking them outside on the patio for a while. They're not going to like it much. So they're just not ready to go for that. So our cattle are acclimated. Our calves are bigger. Generally, we're not calving right now. If you think about sheep, we haven't shorn them. They're wearing their winter wool. All of those things help the animals in this type of weather situation. They will eat more, which means they need to have plenty of water, so don't let the waters freeze up. You'll open up barns. You'll put down hay for more bedding for them. Chickens tend to go in and out of their coops pretty well. Hogs probably are inside more than outside this time of year anyway. They're not exactly a real furry animal. And so most animals are able to take care of themselves pretty well. Farmers and ranchers are doing a nice job of putting up windbreaks so that if you can keep wind off of those animals, that helps tremendously too. And if you drive by and you see critters that have snow on them and you think, oh, how sad they're out there in the snow, snow on them is a good thing. It means that their fur is well insulating them and they're not getting cold. And if they're out of the wind, that helps tremendously. So it's good to see our livestock producers doing that. Yeah, absolutely.
You had mentioned that the chickens are in and out of the coop a little, or they're kind of in the coop a little more. Dean, how are your chickens doing? Do you get the heater set up in the chicken coop?
We're almost got the chicken coop done. Almost. But the cold weather has kind of put a slow down to it. So
you're just keeping them in the garage right now?
Garage, sometimes in the basement. Yeah.
Oh, good. Keeping those chickens warm.
Well, keep them warm.
Bridgette, I wanted to know, outside of just, livestock dealing with the cold, the wind chills, is there anything that can be on set from the cold that ranchers and livestock should keep an eye out for?
Well, much like we've heard many folks in our neighborhoods and our kids in school are getting sick with colds and pneumonia, you can see pneumonia in cattle as well. Same with sheep, etc. They'll look lethargic and droopy. They may have kind of a runny nose, so it's going to look like your kids. They may extend their necks to cough. to try to take in a little bit more air. And you can treat with antibiotics. That's not a problem. Remember, though, that a lot of antibiotics now, if they don't yet, but by June of this summer, when a new FDA rule comes into play, you're going to be required to get a prescription from your veterinarian in order to get some of those previously over-the-counter antibiotics for animals. We don't just treat animals willy-nilly with antibiotics. We do treat them just like you treat your kids when it's necessary. Otherwise, you would not be using those types of methods with them. But yeah, animals can get those same types of diseases that we do as well.
Right, and when it comes to the antibiotics that you're giving to the livestock, and especially into dairy and beef cattle, the ranchers, they have to keep a pretty close eye on which cows are getting what, and they have to document that because you can't let that be getting into the, the milk supply or the meat supply. Is that correct?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. There's recovery periods from the time that you treat an animal. You can't send them off for processing. There's a certain amount of days depending on the product you're using. Same goes in dairy. If you've treated a dairy animal with an antibiotic for a possible infection or something like that, then you make sure that that milk stays separate. Probably it's going to get dumped, fed to the barn cats, that type of thing, so that you don't have that milk going into the bulk tank when it's picked up and held off for processing for milk or cheese. Those are just some of the rules that farmers will follow. One of the things that you'd mentioned about, keeping animals safe and protected during this time when it's so cold and we have so much snow. Previously, we had questions about folks seeing critters out grazing in corn stalks, right? Because you could go pick up extra corn that fallen on the ground, and they were able to do some free-range grazing in fields. Well, now with all this snow, that's kind of over. So I'd say it's about 3 to 4 weeks early for some farmers versus what they had intended to do, but by now they are indeed having to start supplementing feed because they can't graze. A lot of those corn stalks are now all covered by snow.
I see,
So,
and
keep
I'm
that
gonna
in
put you on the time. I'm gonna put you on the timer here to leave a minute for Dean. In about
Yes.
30 seconds, what can you tell me about vaccinating dairy calves?
You need to follow the same protocols that we just talked about, making sure that you're following the rules of using the right products and having the right prescriptions if needed, and not allowing them into the food system if they've been treated within a certain amount of days.
I see. Now, Dean, your time for the clock. You got about a minute and 10
Real-
seconds.
real
What's that
quick.
forecast look like?
Well, I'll tell you what, the snow is about to increase in intensity here in the FM area. There's a line of some moderate, occasionally heavy snow stretching through, let's say, about Argusville through Castleton, Davenport, Leonard areas down through Lisbon, and that is all moving to the east-northeast. So Fargo, Moorhead area about to set in on some heavier snow, and that will last probably for about an hour before that tapers off a little bit later this afternoon. But I think we'll see about 2 to 4 inches of additional snow on top of what we already have before this winds down tonight. And then bitterly cold weather settles in, and blowing and drifting of the snow tomorrow and Friday with there will be pockets of zero visibility, so travel not recommended. Hey, for all of us, thank you so much for joining us. We couldn't do this without you. Have yourself safe travels if you're heading out today. If you have to be out, be very careful. Pack that winter weather survival kit with you. Thanks for watching us on Weather and Ag in Focus, and we'll see you tomorrow.
970 WDAY AM and 90.